Geronimo Jack is back, and this is the Prime Championship Circuit main event. Last time, in our group stages, 16 teams entered the arena and only 6 emerged. But they aren't champions yet. These teams have been slotted into a bracket with the finalists from our last month's event. The Professors and our reigning champions, the European powerhouse, Team Immune. All 8 teams will battle through this best-of-3 bracket until only one is left standing. Which team will hoist the crown and be our newest Prime Champion? Stay tuned, the action starts now.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in today in this fine morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are from in this world. Welcome to the Prime Championship Circuit main event. My name is Ardog with the Triple G's, and it is my pleasure to be your host for today's event and to watch right along with you to witness the greatness Predecessor has to offer. Today we have Predecessor's greatest teams go head-to-head for our prize pool of $1,000. Thank you again to our mysterious donor. Today I am joined by dudes that know the game much more than me, Lakeinator and Toasty. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
I'll go first. So, if you don't know me, I'm Lakeinator. You probably see me out there. But this is the first time, I guess, you actually have a face, I guess, unless you searched me out, a face to the picture. And I'm excited to see where things go. I have some teams that I'm rooting for, but we'll see where things go.
Everybody, I'm Toasty, and I'm excited to flex my big brain game knowledge.
Ooh, he just said big brain knowledge. Also, fun fact, we are all from Canada. This is the Canadian desk right now. But I have to ask you guys, who are you most excited to move forward to the finals? Lakin?
I'm looking for a couple teams, but I guess the two that I would really like to see in the finals would be Royalty and Rogue. Those are what I'm rooting for. But I can see it being Professors, Team Immune, Royalty, and Rogue. Those are my 4 top contenders.
Yeah, Team NA for you, hey? What about you, Toasty?
I'm rooting for Rogue to get to the finals, but I'm thinking maybe Professors and Immune get the rematch from the last tournament they played in, and we can really see an NA victory this time.
Ooh, NA victory. Our first game we'll be showcasing is Team Royalty and Team Red Dojo. So Royalty having North, Six, Seismic, Dare, and then we also have Pablo, or Colombian, and then Red Dojo, which is Wango, Blue Jay, Atomic, Akaram, Natty, and Mew Mews. What do you know about these guys, Lakin?
I know quite a bit. I've seen them just in casual games as well as scrimmed against them and played them a couple times in tournaments. The biggest thing for Royalty is they're very adaptable. Even for North, he may pull out a mage in the soul and you really don't know what he's going to play. And then Six is the same. He's usually more on the aggressive playstyle, but he will pull out the jungle, like the tanks, if a team really wants it and needs it. But more than likely, you might see Six pulling out some Kalaris. I'm a big fan of Six Kalari. I think Kalari actually has a very strong capabilities in the comp scene.
What do you think, Toasty?
I think Royalty, their biggest strengths are their jungle pressure, their off lane pressure. I think that's what they're looking to capitalize on. And on the other side, Red Dojo, I've played with Wangle a lot. Wangle's got a lot of potential in this game, and I'm excited to see where it goes. It's a bit of a toss-up.
Yeah, we know 100 Thieves 6 streams a lot, so we know a lot about his gameplay. He plays a lot of Kalari. So we know Province won't be playing today. We have the Colombian. I actually don't know too much about this guy, but I've heard many things that he's actually one of the greatest players in NA. What do you know about that, Lakin?
If it's Pablo is, I would like to say he can fit all roles. He plays all roles pretty well, so I'm very excited if he's actually in the carry role. It's going to be very interesting actually against Team Immune, because I think Team Immune, if they make it on after this game, Team Immune needs someone to match Neff's pressure and skills. So very excited to see.
What about you, Toasty?
Yes, he's definitely a sleeper. You haven't really seen him much in the competitive scene, but everyone knows that he's got some serious skills. And he's definitely going to show everybody today.
Yeah, I actually don't know too much about him. He must be like an NA East player or something. So was he ever
He's
in the competitive?
Well, he was part of, I guess, if you know, remember this team, he was part of BT, and he was very well known in the Overprime
Mm,
scene. And he has played a lot of solo queue on East in
hmm.
Predecessor. I usually believe it's late nights and early mornings. I usually see him play, but
Yeah.
yeah. So he still plays this game, but he hasn't played it as much, or at least he hasn't been doing it as competitively as before. So
All right. So now it's time for the predictions for this first match. Royalty versus Red Dojo. I'm gonna ask Toasty first this time. Who
I
is
think
your pick?
I think this is Royalty 2-0.
Oh
I
my,
don't think it's going to
Royalty
be super
2-0.
free, but I think Royalty will 2-0.
Yeah. All right. And what about you, Lakeinator?
I'm gonna have to go with Royalty 2 as well, but I'm excited to see how Red Dojo steps up. I'm looking to see. I love to be upsetted. I love to be proved wrong. So I'm gonna put Royalty as 2-0. But if Red Dojo can pull it together, I will be impressed.
For myself, I don't know. I always vote for the underdog, and they don't call me our dog for nothing. I am picking Red Dojo. This is for you, Lance. This is for you, Lance. I'm picking Red Dojo. All right, so I know we're all here to watch some games, so I guess we'll switch it over to the draft. Oh, actually, we will take a look at the bracket first. So with the quarterfinals, we have Team Immune against Prime Time, Red Dojo versus Royalty, which is the first match we'll be looking at, and then Professors and No Communication going against each other, and then Rogue also against Bronze Army. So we'll see who's going to be the winner between each brackets and see who will make it to the semifinals and then eventually make it to the finals. Any picks for what about Team Immune and Prime Time, Lakeinator?
Who do I think is gonna win?
Yeah, what do you
Oh,
think?
I think it's gonna be Team Immune. If they don't win,
Yeah.
I can't see them not winning. As they're the leading, I believe the only team that can at least beat them in EU, to my understanding, is the Dev
Yeah.
team. So
Oh, the
yeah,
dev team. Yeah, we love
so
the dev team here. What about you, Toasty?
I think Immune is taking it. They're number one for for a reason, and
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Team Immune as well. I love those guys. The way they just kind of, when you watch them stream, you can see that they have really great chemistry together as well. I know they can't really stream with their comms during scrims and stuff, but when they're just playing pubs, for example, you can really see their personality shine through and get to know them a little bit more, right? And then I guess another game will be the Professors versus No Communication. The Professors, we all know them. What do you think, Lakeinator?
Oh, the Professors, they're all good. They're great players all around. They're fun to talk to. They're honestly, outside the game, very chill guys just to hang out with and have fun. But within the game, they communicate really well. Their only downfall is that maybe they like to have too much fun sometimes, which can get in
Oh
the way of their play
yes, yeah,
style. But
yeah,
they do like their tanks. They do like to be just big front lines and let
yeah,
Survivor and Soul Reaper do their work. So they create that space.
yeah. Who's your pick between No Communication and Professors, though?
I'm going to have to go with Professors. I'm just going to have
Professors,
to. They have a
yeah,
proven track record, so I'm going to be biased.
yeah. What about you, Toasty?
I'm going with Professors. They got some of the biggest names in the community. Crazy Full,
Yeah,
Survivor,
hands
Soul
down.
Reaper. Tons of
Yeah,
practice. They're playing all the
Mr.
time.
Guru. Yep,
Guru,
yep.
IDOC.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love those guys. And then last but not the least, I guess we have Rogue and Bronze Army going against each other. These are also pretty hot teams. What do you think, Lakin? Who's your pick?
Honestly, I'd like to see Bronze Army move on. They're
Yeah,
also a bunch of fun group
I
content creators
know.
that are coming
Yeah,
together to, showcase their skills. So I would also like to see, how far can they make it? Can they show that, we played this game as much as everyone else and we have enough skill as well. So I'd like to see them do well.
aw,
So
hands down. Yeah. What about you, Toasty?
I'm thinking Rogue. I'm rooting for my boy Wangle in there. She's gonna show everybody what's up.
Um, yeah, I actually Rogue. So Red Dojo has Wangle. but
right.
Rogue
You're
has the other guys. What
Abby
are you
Picker.
still? Are you
I
still
want
Team
Abby
Rogue?
Picker. I want
Oh,
Pinzo.
Appy Picker,
I
Appy
want
Picker.
Haru.
Pinzo Dunzo, that's right.
Pinzo
Yeah,
Dunzo
I
is
love it.
on the East Coast ping.
Yes,
True.
I know. Yeah, I just tried playing East Coast the other day because I was like, oh, why not? Like, how bad can it be? Because when we have people from EU going in there to, joining our tournaments, playing on that NA East ping, like it really does make a difference. And like I could really feel the delay with my autos and whatnot. I don't know if you guys have ever played NA West before or like in a different server, but I do not recommend doing that at all. So it was not a good time. It was not a good time. But anyways, I'm really excited for today. Any other thoughts, Lakin and Toasty, about today? How are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I like to always see upsets and creates things interesting. I like to see some close matches. So, like I said, as we get to the semifinals, there's gonna be some heavy hitters in there. So it's gonna be some. It could go to as I think everyone's best of 3 right until finals. So
Yep.
there could be some long best of 3s in the semifinals, or you might see some clean sweeps in semis. It could go either way at this point. I honestly believe it can go either way.
Yeah. All right. So apparently there's a video from Team Immune. So let's go ahead and watch that. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I am so sorry about that, about our audio, but I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Fun fact, that was actually all Easy Ed that was there. I don't know if you've ever seen that video, Lakin, Toasty. Have you guys seen that video?
Have not.
Have not, no. But it's a great video though. It's like it showcases all of their strengths. I love those guys. Any thoughts from watching that video, Lakin?
Not much. I already have a great idea from past Team Immune from their experiences. So to see them, popping off, it's nothing new. I'm more excited to see how much they have improved from last time we've seen them in the last tournament, because a lot of teams have actually improved in such a short time. Especially with how the game's growing. There's a lot of things people are learning. So I'm super excited to see how far teams can push themselves.
That's right. How about you, Toasty? What do you think about Team Immune and that hot video they just showed us?
You're muted, Dan.
I was muted. I saw a lot of saucy plays in that video. A lot of good use of Murdoch traps. I saw Richter with Time Flux. It's interesting. I've never seen that before for a while, but
Yeah.
they make it work. They make it work.
Yeah, I love those guys. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you guys know, but it's actually there was an announcement by Team Immune the other day that or twice, Monkey D. Iroar, the Hebrew Hammer. This will be his last tournament.
Oh.
Do you guys know much about Iroar at all, Lakin?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he was leaving, or do we know why he's leaving, or if he's taking a break, or any more details? I didn't expect Team Immune to lose a member.
Actually, I think he's just doing something else. But you know
Okay.
what? I know we all want to watch some games. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna go ahead and go to the draft. All right. So Red, Dojo, and Royalty. Who do you think will be their bans? What do you think?
Knowing how Royalty plays, I can see a Clary ban. I think banning Clary stops six from having that free pressure and free roam potential. And then I can see Royalty just banning out maybe a Rampage or really any comfort tank picks, because they know
There it is.
There it is. There's the Rampage. The thing is with Rampage, it's such a safe pick that anyone can kind of play Rampage. I don't want to say his skill ceiling is not as high compared to assassin junglers.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
What do you think about this Gideon ban right now, Toasty?
Gideon's probably the most oppressive mid laner right now. He brings so much mid pressure and safety that it's just a safe ban if you don't feel comfortable playing it or you're not first pick.
Yeah.
And it leaves characters like Howitzer open, who does significantly better against everybody else.
Right, and it looks like Royalty's first pick is Howitzer and Red Dojo with the Decker pick as well. Lakin, can you break this down for us right now? These Decker, Howitzer, Sevarog picks at the moment.
Yeah, I would say the reason why they just took Howie is because he's probably the other most oppressive mid laner right now. I think right now actually Faye is a sleeper pick, but Howie is very oppressive, and the fact that you can make it rain from so far away and still one-shot the ADC with one ability, or the carry with one ability, is such a big impact. And then with Decker and Sevarog is the best front line in the game right now, and Decker has so much CC and follow-up, it makes any laning phase and landing abilities so much easier.
True that. All right, Toasty. Tell me about what's going on right now. Red Dojo and Royalty having their picks at the moment.
I think Royalty's picking Gadget for offlane to deal with Sevarog because she can safely farm against Sevarog and still get off reliable damage. And then Red Dojo's going hard into CC right now with Richter and Bellica and Decker. So they're looking for maybe like a hard team fight composition, as Royalty's looking for more of like a pick comp. And then let their mages come out the back line.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have two more additional picks. We have Steel and we have the Murdoch pick as their carry for Royalty. Lakin, what do you think about the Steel and Murdoch pick?
I think the Steel and Murdoch pick is fine. Going into a Bellica Kira lane, Bellica can easily counter engage the Steel with a knockup. But if you can get Steel of laning phase, he is very oppressive on the map. He has a lot of impact potential. And I do believe Kira is one of the weaker laners to play. So I think picking Steel right here and then picking Kira might be, I think, a mistake on the Red Dojo side. So I believe Royalty's gonna have a lot of pressure with that Steel Murdoch pick, being able to pressure them, clear out the wave, as well as punish them.
So you think it's gonna be a Kira Bellica or a Kira Decker, Lakin?
It's a Kira Decker. They're definitely doing the Bellica mid. That's my mistake. Yeah, Kira Decker. I would say it's still the same outcome though. With picking Kira, she has very low wave clear, whereas Murdoch can easily shotgun the wave if they want pressure and put them under tower and create the pressure on the dual side, which may allow Dare likes to roam. So if Royalty can get pressure in dual lane, expect to see Dare roaming to mid, taking river buffs, putting pressure elsewhere.
Toasty, they say one of the biggest carries or strongest carries right now is Drongo. Why do you think they might have picked Murdoch instead?
Murdoch does very good by himself. So if Dare wants to roam to mid and create space for his mid laners, his mages, then he can leave
Yeah.
Murdoch alone, and then Murdoch can also just ult from the dual lane. He doesn't actually have to leave to have an impact in the team fights.
Right. Do you
and he
think?
also, sorry,
Yep.
I
Go
said he
ahead.
also has the most lane pressures in ADC because he scales the hardest, does the most damage with the shotguns. He's just a safe overall pick to leave alone.
Right. Do you think a Drongo would have fit better with their team comp at all in Royalty?
I think Drongo would do just fine, but with what they're
Mhm.
trying to do with this team comp, Murdoch's best. Like I said, he's best by himself in the back, while Steel is zoning or creating space for their two mages, and Murdoch's just kind of there to shred tanks.
Right. So what do you think, Lakin, about this team comp right now? I know you mentioned you wanted to see Six go and pick Kalari at all, but it looks like he is picking the Fang Mao. What do you think?
I think the Fang Mao is fine. I think where Fang Mao struggles is if there's a multiple tank composition. Right now, their only tanks is really Sevrog. Richter, I don't really consider him to be that tanky. We'll see how they build Richter on the Red Dojo. But if Six can be able to freely move in and out of fights as a Fang Mao, he has a lot of impact. The biggest issue is just not letting him be able to jump on the back line or jump on carries very easily. And if you give him more targets to jump to, it's going to make his job a lot easier. And then I'll have to go with the reason they probably picked Murdoch is I know they like their crit builds, and Murdoch is right now the best character to build a crit on, just how he scales. So,
anything to add, Toasty?
I think Red Dojo is going to have to hold their CC for the proper time to get Six off of their carries, because he's going to be causing a lot of issues for them.
All right. So we want to watch Red Dojo and Team Royalty, right? Who are you guys picking, chat? Let's go ahead and transfer it over to F6 and Lance.
Hello, everybody. I am Lance Cecil here with my good friend F6. How you doing today, Six?
Doing good, bud. How you doing today, man? I'm so excited for these games.
I am doing good, but I have already broken the number one rule that today you are F6, not 6, as 6 is the jungler for Team Royalty, as we are about to see him probably put on a show here on Fang Mao. He was playing that before a whole lot of people even thought that character was broken the way that a lot of people do with the damage that he can get out now. What are you expecting to see out of him here, F6?
You can say he was the original pioneer of the Feng Mao jungle. You're definitely correct on that. He was the only one playing Feng Mao in the entire world before everybody found out about him. So I expect this to be a very comfort pick for Six, and he's definitely going to be dominating the jungle with him just with his path and his rotations and his mindset.
Right, and we do have an incredible jungle matchup in this game between Blue Jay over there for Red Dojo and Hunter T6. Although I do, my guy Blue Jay isn't going to like hearing this when he watches this VOD back, but I do give the slight edge to 100 T6. I've kind of been considering him the Rudyard Kipling of Predecessor so far, and by that I mean that he is right in the Jungle Book.
Yeah, he definitely is the top 3 jungler, or I would say top 2 in my opinion, just in this game right now. And he knows his way around the map. He knows where the ward placements are, and he just seems to somehow get around all those wards and just be there. And being Feng Mao, being a little bit more aggressive to clear and be ahead of that Richter, because obviously Richter got a slight buff, but he's still a little bit behind on his clear. He's going to be able to out-rotate him.
We do, and we have a special treat for any of you guys that weren't around for the Prediversity series last week. And as we do have the first tournament that will be shown in spectator mode, in replay mode, it is quite a better viewing experience than watching people Discord POV with all of the pixels and all of the grain in them. So we're in for some high quality display of Predecessor skill today.
Yeah, that spectator view is just absolutely amazing, and you don't have to just sit there trying to wait to hopefully get the right viewing. You get better angles, and I'm excited to see how well PCC is going to manage it today, and I can't wait.
I'm excited to see it too. So we heard our predictions from our desk 6. F6, my bad. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. I know that we're both kind of homers here, but who do you think is gonna take this series?
I do think Team Royalty will take this. I do not think they're going to sweep Red Dojo, but I do have a feeling if Team Royalty does not play at 100%, they might be in for a rude awakening to see these guys come in and sneak a couple out of games out of them.
I completely agree. I'm expecting a gentleman's sweep. For those of you in the audience that does not know that, that means you lose game one and then win the rest of them. I'm probably going to get a little pie in the face later today for making this prediction because I don't know that I actually believe in my own prediction here, but that is what I think. Royalty gets one, Red Dojo gets the second two after that. The mental is just stronger here. We've been doing them martial arts in it. We've been grabbing grasshoppers out of our sensei's hands. We've been preparing with the mental fortitude that it takes to compete in an all day long event. And I'd hate to see them burn out in the first round.
Yeah, they got a little bit of training from the Karate Kid. But honestly, I do think you are right on that, Lance. I think these games are going to go back and forth. It's definitely going to come down to the mental capacity of each one of these teams, making sure they're sticking through it, even though the games might go longer than expected. This is not going to be a casual game. This is not going to be a stomp. Fingers crossed, right?
Right.
And there's going to be a very competitive side of the game. So hopefully we can see some best of 3 going on here and probably get a close once again at the end of the day.
I do want to elaborate a little bit as well. I know the desk was talking about Pablo Wazowski, Pablo with the sticks, Colombian Dash. He's a man of many names. I like to consider him Pablo Sanchez because if you've not seen this dude play in the duo lane, it is very, very impressive. He won the second low lobby while playing for Bad Timing. I believe they gave the MVP of that to Vecron within the team internally, who was their support. But if you watch that, Pablo was hitting plays and doing things that Turtlefro literally couldn't even describe on screen because they were so impressive.
Yeah, he's a menace. He's an absolute menace when it comes to being that duo lane. He does God's work, even if it's not on a Sunday. And he's able to just outplay almost everybody every time he's over there. So it's definitely excited to see him today, especially with him and his safety pick on the Murdoch.
But as they did mention, he hasn't been playing an insane amount. We saw him like creep up towards the top of the leaderboard. I know he's not putting that many games, and it may have looked at his Meta City a little bit. But it's still just so impressive with how top level he is. That comes from all of that time he spent playing Paragon, playing Fault, the early time of this, playing a little Paragon, the Overprime. The man's been around for all of the evolutions and all of the different makings of this game. And hopefully we're going to get a really good opportunity to see him perform today. Once again, we're talking about how we're going to be watching this through replay mode. One of the other great things that we needed to mention about that in comparison to watching through Discord POV is a lot of times there'd be super good matchups and we just wouldn't get to see them in that Discord POV because that person's computer was a potato and it ruins their performance if they stream. Now we're going to be able to watch any matchup we want whenever we want. We're going to be able to see Tekken Kid when he's on Kalari. We're going to be able to see, all of these people on their comfort picks. We can just follow 100T6 around in this jungle if you guys really want that good of an experience, So the possibilities are endless, and I'm just super excited about that from like a broadcasting perspective. Our guy behind the scenes, got to give a little bit of love to Choice Plays right now, has spent 3 weeks putting this together in 1 week, it feels like, with the amount of time that I see this man putting in. So big shout out to our guys behind the scenes on the ones and twos, taking care of it and making sure that we can see all of this.
Yeah, Choice has been definitely putting in a lot of work behind the scenes that not a lot of people really know about. So if you guys don't know him, follow him by Twitter. He's a great guy, and you can just thank him here in chat as well because he's done an absolute amazing job.
He sure has. Probably my favorite PCC person.
Oh, damn, hurts.
I know he's smiling though. I know he is.
He's cheesing right now.
So we are going to get onto the game. It looks like we may be a little bit into it. Somehow about 3 minutes and 23 seconds in. Does look like there has been first blood on the side of Royalty here as Dare to Care is going to make a quick aggressive block in, get the shield up as well to be able to block that Decker ball coming out of Akram. So let's just talk really quick just about this duo lane matchup 6. Tell the people out there about playing Steel into Decker and the pains of it.
Decker is probably the utmost annoying support for any other support and ADC in that lane, just because she counters almost everybody with her Decker Ball and her cage. She counters Steel. Steel will charge. You just put up a cage and stop him right in his tracks or hit him with a ball. Same thing with Richter. But once Steel gets online here, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he's going to be able to not to be as oppressed. But as you can see right now, they're just bullying them in this lane, especially with that gank from Blue Jay. He missed his hook, but that Decker cage just locked him in, so Kira could get a lot of shots in, and Decker could keep ostracizing on him.
Right, and I am expecting to see a whole lot of Richter jungle today. If anybody hasn't been playing that, it is incredibly oppressive right now. You saw Blue Jay, he missed the hook in there, and they still burned both of the flashes. Gonna shove this wave under the tower, deny that experience and that gold over there to Pablo and to Dare there. If we could get a tab quick, let's see who got that first blood possibly. And it does actually, it looks like it was on Akram. So Red Dojo is out to the early lead. We may have them onto the wrong side here, but it looks like Decker was able to use that little bit of early lane advantage that they have against that Steel. Really big target to hit over the lacrosse ball. Very easy to catch them in the containment fence, able to steal that first blood. Probably would have liked that over onto the Kira, but they will take what they can get.
Yeah, not a lot of people understand the damage that Decker can do early game. I think they sleep on it as well. That's why I think she's very oppressive into that lane. So she's definitely be able to put out just as much damage as the ADC, maybe even more, especially in those first couple levels.
I don't know if maybe we are getting a visual bug, but I'm pretty sure I just saw that 100 T6 is playing Howitzer. Can I get you to press that for like 2 seconds here, Choice? Let's check on that, because that would be an interesting development.
Yeah, that would be weird to see how he says there. Maybe they're just switching roles, trying something out here.
That could be. So they are going to get a little bit of a roam over here towards that. Yeah, and it is 100 T6 playing the Howitzer. So that is interesting to see. Also in the mid lane as well. So not going too trolly with the picks right now. Playing that into Atomic's Bellica, which is definitely a comfort pick over here for Atomic. Thinks it's one of the better natural counters to Howitzer. I tend to agree with him as well. Just a little bit hard early in the game with a little bit of an outrange coming from the Howitzer after you blow the kit on the Bellica.
Yeah, she is the mage destroyer, right? Belisha, she does a really good job in just countering a majority of mages just with that drone and being able to pop them up and just kind of stay at a distance as well, right? Unfortunately, against the Howie, though, it's a little bit harder just because everything on him, he could shoot 10 miles away and not have to actually be near you to do anything. Then we got looks like we got a nice little fight over here on the duo side. They missed the hook, so that's unfortunate for Blue Jay, and they're not going to be able to come out with too much on that side.
Right, Dice job for him to recognize both of those blinks are down there. Unfortunately, doesn't land the whiplash and going to be able to pull them into them. Already pretty far back into their turret range as well, but Atomic is creeping up beside them, down behind. They are pretty low, getting this minion wave pushed in. Gonna look to see if they can get a dive out here. That Steel is pretty low. Got a little bit more, and boom, that is gonna be the second kill. Going over to Yatan on the Kira. That is exactly what they want to see. They are gonna turn their eyes towards the first Fangtooth of the game. Already up 3-0 in kills.
Yeah, that was well played by Red Dojo over there. The Bellica pushing up her lane, be able to rotate onto the backside of that tier 1 and be able to just keep them into that tiny little spot and get a kill on that. And you can see they're taking that advantage by getting over to the Fangtooth, trying to get to that first objective very early on.
We did have a solo kill over in the off lane, though, as it looks like North on the Gadget able to take down Wangle on the Sevarog. For anybody who has never played that matchup, it is pretty awful for the Sevarog. He doesn't have a whole lot of losing matchups over there in the off lane. Gadget is definitely one of them. Very easy to poke him out of lane. As we see, that would be Seismic that is playing Feng Mao then.
Yes.
Thank you. That is Seismic playing the Fang Mao, who is in there trying to trade objectives with them. They gave over that first Fangtooth, trying to pick up the mini prime for themselves, get a little bit of early lane pressure, a little bit of global gold for Team Royalty as well, try to stop some of this bleeding that is happening so far early in this game.
Yeah, and you see that the Bellica Atomic rotating over there to stop that from happening. So that was good on Atomic there to be able to just apply a little bit of pressure just to stop them from trading into that. So trying to keep their lead advantage for Red Dojo.
Right, great job out of him, able to pick up the attack speed buff as well. We do have a little bit of problems here for Wangle, still working towards getting some of that magic resist. Going to be very important for him against these double mages, but he is starting to face a little bit of pressure as they are going to chase him all of the way up into his tier 2. Got the hat with on him, not sure that that's going to be enough to kill him. No, it is not. Six and North are going to have to back out of there as they are kind of spending a whole lot of time over here between the two turrets. Not quite sure where Blue Jay is. They need to be careful about it.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get pressure on that side of the map so Feng Mao could possibly get the prime over there. You saw the duo rotated to mid as well to kind of cover for the howitzer. So probably look for another prime play here in a little bit.
Right, so got a good little wave freeze over here for Pablo, and they are going to be able to soak this experience up. Level 6 is what they are trying to get Dare to. That is a really important spot where this lane doesn't suck for steals quite so much. A little bit longer of an engage. They're able to try to get a little bit more verticality into it as well to try to match what that Decker can do. A way to get out of the containment fence if you do get stuck into it. Really, really good team presence once Steel hits level 6 here.
Yeah, that all on Steel is a big game changer. Once that comes in, you're going to see a lot of pressure switch towards duo side. Looks like the prime play is coming up right now.
Oh, they hit him with the hook. That's going to be a seismic down. Six is going to come in with the make it rain. Going to be able to pick one up. So far, it is a 1-for-1 trade, but the fight is not quite over yet. Atomic's starting to get a little bit low health, but not quite able to quite pick him off. He's going to have to blink away to get out for safety. Wangle's doing what he can to fight them out. Got a lot of magic resist started to build up, but it is not enough to get through this relentless damage. The shield smash is going to go a little bit wide. Still chasing down Wangle, but he's got quite a bit of health bar left. But that is going to be Red Dojo having to retreat, giving Royalty a clear path in here to take this mini prime. First decent objective for the game onto Royalty's side here in just a couple of seconds. Going to be interesting to see who they give it to. And they are going to give it to, oh, I thought it was going to go to 6. I thought I saw him glow purple. Not quite sure still. Probably onto their jungler. It's probably onto Seismic right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking Seismic just went over there, just quick smite with it and just trying to get back over there. That was a good rotation from Team Royalty from the duo side to be there, but they did give up a lot of pressure, and it looks like Kair's going to be able to take a T1 just from them rotating over to Prime. So not a bad trade for Red Dojo there. They're able to at least get a pressure off on that opposing side of the lane. They did lose Prime, forced to blink on Wangle, but they did get the steal ult as well.
Yeah, and kudos to Natty for recognizing that macro play as well. He was actually part of the initial 1-for-1 trade that went down around that mini prime fight. He falls, realizes that the respawn timers aren't very long right now, but hold on a second because we got Blue Jay coming in, gonna hit him with that big Rick energy ult. Still has the hook, hasn't used it yet, is able to land it onto Dare, and that's gonna be another kill coming through for Natty on the Kira. But as we were getting to, really great macro play, realizes that those death timers aren't very long, gets killed, immediately gets up, knows that everybody is on the other side of the map, and decides to run over, take down that tier 1 as fast as he can, gets that first brick money into the pockets of Red Dojo. 5-2 on kills. They've got that first Fang's Tooth as well, and they are looking pretty right now.
Yeah, they're looking real nice right about now. What a play from Blue Jay over there with that flank with the Richter ult. Still able to get the Dare on his blink and hook him right back in. It's like, no, you are not going anywhere, buddy. Come back here. Let's have a chat about that. And they were able to pick up a kill over there.
Oh, and that is going to be the Bellica falling as well to the long arm of the law. That global ult coming out from Pablo Wazowski. Going to be able to knock that down. Also looks like they've got an inside track towards the first Fang Tooth for themselves, as all 4 members of their team are grouped up around it right now. Akram's going to try to make a little bit of a splash on the Decker. Pretty hard to steal that as well. Got some good zoning coming out of the howitzer right now to keep Blue Jay away. And that should be it. That's going to be first Fang Tooth Cohen over for Royalty as well.
Yeah, you can see how the Gadget and the howitzer, just having both of them on your team for these objective fights is so good because they're able to zone out just every part of the alleyways that you're trying to come to try and get to the inside this objective. So once you get there first and you're able to just have this Gadget and how we just zone off, you just pretty much guarantee yourself that objective.
Right, and that is what they are going to claim as a prize there, as that tower is going to fall for the side of Royalty, evening up the amount of, oh, actually not quite evening up the amount of towers, as it does look like Red Dojo still has one above them right now, although they are starting to get this game a little bit more even. We do have the Lightning Hawk completed for Yatan right now, sitting at 3-1-0, 142 CS, just cruising right along. Atomic's got that Mega Cosm finished as well. 100 T6 does have combustion before it hits those nerfs that are coming out on, I believe, Tuesday. Gonna get a little bit of advantage of that power that has right now. Looks like he is also building his way towards the Wraith leggings. Seismic's got that Malady finished. Nex is coming in as well, just being really, really strong, working our way towards second items currently.
Yeah, definitely once the second item is fully complete and the working into the third, you're going to see a lot different playstyle from Belisha. She's definitely going to come into her own, and she's going to start to one-shot essentially these mages that are just walking around the map. So sorry about that. Atomic's going to be able to go against North with the gadget if he's able to get a knock up on either him or the Howie, and should be able to just one-shot them with a full kit.
Yeah, once you get to this point in the game, you really start taking advantage of that passive that Belica has. Once you get that ability all the way upgraded to the max level, you get that extra mana, you get that extra benefit to it. Whether it's the abilities wider, the cooldowns different, the damage is up higher. It doesn't really matter what it is. Once you pair that with a Zircora as well, where you get that additional damage based off your mana, she just turns into such a monster late game.
Yeah, and I think for a while she was very, very underrated until you saw a lot of these competitive players just playing her a little bit more. People be able to see Belica's just one-shot capability once she gets into her own, kind of just brought her to the spotlight, and that's why you're kind of just seeing her there more in the public.
Yeah, shout out to our boy Jabin. He put on an absolute clinic with Belica in the last PCC event that we did, actually subbing in for Empty in most of the semifinals and the finals, actually.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere with that Belica. It was impressive gameplay.
Oh, I've been following Jabin on Twitch for quite some time now. That came out of just where I expected it from him. Very proficient Belica player. Would like to see a Galaxy Greaves come out onto Atomic here. I know that our host, our dog, is big on the Moon Boots Belica tech. Don't know that it's a great build. Very fun to watch build, very fun to play build.
Moon boots are actually pretty good, but you get a lot of stats for it. It's very cheap, and that movement speed, out of combat movement speed, and that just this random ability just to be vertical out of nowhere kind of changes the game for a lot of people that are not used to the Z-axis.
It definitely has. So I do want to say that it looks like a tower advantage has been taken away from Red Dojo here. So it looks like both teams have two at this point. A little bit hard to read the minimap, still working out some of the visual bugs within it though. As let's get a check over here onto Wangle. He is just farming away. It looks like he is at those 90 shoulder pads, 17-minute mark. Not bad for him. This matchup is terrible. Very hard to stay in your spot and farm against the gadget, as we've mentioned before. She's also just so incredibly safe because you can't really get onto her either. She's got that speed gate that if you try to slither through, it's going to root you. She's got the Seek and Destroy put on herself. But we got a team fight popping off as Dare to Care is going to hit that big steal. Oh, really good stasis comes out of Atomic, but he's not going to be able to stay purple long enough to stop Seismic from getting the Fang Mao ult down on top. And that's going to be 2 members down for Red Dojo right now, trying to defend this mid tier 1 turret.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Atomic. Looks like Team Loyalty is going to be able to pick up this mini prime off of that fight. Good job on Atomic to try and just outlast those 2 ults from Murdoch with the long arm of the law and Seismic's Feng Mao ult, but just not quite long enough. Good effort, but good job on Team Loyalty for being able to play that, use their timings very well, and just get that to get the mini prime.
Right, and that is both mini primes of the game going over to Royalty, so very good for them. They did catch Pablo out a little bit out of position there, got a good containment fence to keep Seismic and 100T6 zoned out and in as well, but this might not be the fight that Red Dojo was looking for, as the rest of Team Royalty has shown up and they are ready to brawl. Already used the hook out here from Blue Jay, but so he's not much other than a front line and a silence machine at this point. But it looks like Team Royalty is gonna be on the retreat right here, as they are gonna be okay with just trading their carry there. Pablo got a lot of CC put down on top of him. Ox gonna get a little aggro as well. Six is gonna sidestep the seismic assault coming out of Belica here, but he's gonna get hooked in over by the side. Gonna have to go into stasis as Dara is gonna rush into the tower. And looks like once again that is all gonna be for naught. Actually, not quite, as Royalty is gonna move down over here onto the Fangtooth. Pretty low, but they have two of their beefier boys. Red Dojo should be able to identify that the shield slam is down on Dare to Care right now. Should be an opportunity for them to potentially get into here, but no, it's Seismic and the rest of Team Royalty are going to be able to clear that fast enough, pick up that second Fangtooth for themselves. They've evened the kill score at 8-8 as well, and just like that, the advantage that Red Dojo had built up early in this game is gone.
Yeah, it's just completely not going in their favor in the 3 to 4 minutes of this game. The Aku was a little bit out of position there in the mid lane. So was the Kira. Team Royalty was able to pick up those kills with their comp. They do have that pick comp, so they're able to be very good at what they're doing right now. They got the Fangtooth there. Unfortunate that the Blue Jay didn't go in there with the Richter and the Belica as well, with how Dare was so low and Seismic, or not Seismic, it would be the Feng Mao. And they would have been. Is it? Oh yeah, I keep forgetting they switched.
They swapped. It's interesting.
Right, just out here just fooling everybody.
Yeah, we can't have an easy broadcast 6. That's just not how it's gonna work.
Never. But unfortunately, they weren't able to put a little bit of pressure in there with the timers just being a little bit offset. But hopefully the Team Dojo could bring it back in here, kind of get a little bit more kills, go into that team fight formation that they need to go into, fight front to back, and just use that to their advantage to get themselves back into this game for the big prime.
Right, the later this game goes, the more it does favor Team Red Dojo, as they do have that Belica who's going to continue to scale with that passive. They've got, Sevarog, the biggest, beefiest boy in the game, getting to this point right here where he's almost able to start 1v1ing and fighting North. Now that he's got a little bit more of those defensive items, you see him with the Tainted Bastion, you see him with the Unbroken Will, really stacking that magic resist over here on the Sevarog. A little bit of aggression is going to come out as Seismic is going to take a peek over into the duo lane. Not quite enough to get them down, as it is pretty hard to gank into a Decker with that containment fence, with that lacrosse ball. Pretty good character to do it with in Feng Mao, but just not the easiest still. Blue Jay is going to come around here. The subjugate is going to land, and that is just going to be a gadget eliminated from the map. We see those big shoulder pads coming out for Wangle, as well as he hits that 120 spot. That is really good for Team Red Dojo. They are starting to get into this late game spot where they want to, but that is not good, as we see them losing 2 turrets almost at the same time as their mid tier 1 is looking to potentially fall as well, as they get this tier 2 over in the duo lane for Team Royalty.
Yeah, and then there goes Atomic again. He kind of goes back down with that long arm of the law, just sneaking up and just taking him out here. And it looks like Pablo's going to be able to push this tier 1, get it down. Oh, he's not going to be able to, because Red Dojo comes in to try and save it right there again. But as you can see, the Wango over there on the Sevarog has his 120 stacks. I'd like to see him go into a Void Helm just to help him out a little bit more. This team is full of a lot of magical damage, and that Void Helm's going to help him be able to chase down these mages a little bit more and just be a little bit more tankier to help him on those team fights and engage.
It does look like he is going towards the Tainted Guard. Not a terrible idea, especially when you pair that with the Tainted Bastion. Would like to see him go that Void Helm direction as well for you, like you are saying. And that is going to be very difficult for them to continue to get through. Richter is very chunky as the game goes on. It's very hard to kill, especially once you get to the point you got that crash, you're 2-3 items into it. Definitely looking like Red Dojo is going to have the front line, but Royalty's boys are getting to the point that they pump so much damage out. All of those second, third items are coming through. You see a Megacosm on both of their mages. It is going to be a matter of whether or not this tanks can sustain it, but it's going to be even harder for them as we get that 20% buff over onto all of Team Royalty, as while Red Dojo is not looking, they sneak an Orb Prime at 23 minutes.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't Don't know how that happens. Red Dojo should have been aware of that. They should have had some wards down there. Maybe it has this miscommunication or a slip up, but hopefully they can just run this time down. They have to be also wary of the Primal Fangtooth coming up here in roughly about a minute or so, and being able to fight that. But it's going to be 10 times harder with that or Prime buff. So we'll see how they play this. They have the team comp for it. If they can get some picks early on, they should be able to turn this game around and put themselves into a better position by getting that Primordial Fang.
They definitely will, and that, like you said, is going to be a huge advantage towards them in that fight. Already having the Orb Prime buff on them as well also means they're going to be able to put the lanes in the positions they want to start the fight afterwards. And Red Dojo needs to get in here, get some vision down, as we only see one ward even close to this pit right now. Gonna need, oh, I'm actually, yes, I am looking at this from the right perspective. We are gonna need more, but that is not great, as it looks like Blue Jay may be getting picked. Gonna get the ult out, but it's only gonna land onto the steel. Seismic Assault is gonna go wide onto North, as well as Atomic needs to turn tail. Gonna go purple quick, but the gate is gonna jump down on top of him. Is gonna be able to get out, but North's gonna be able to follow him around here. Dare's jumping around with just a sliver of health here, but looks like he has got enough to survive. That Orb Prime buff is gonna start giving him his health back, and they are going to be able to turn over here on to the Primal Fang, as both Blue Jay and Atomic are down for Red Dojo right now.
Yeah, you saw them just go inside that jungle, be aggressive with that Orb Prime. They knew they had the advantage. They picked up on Blue Jay. They got him, forces ult, which puts him into a standstill position. They were able to capitalize on that. North was able to turn around. Atomic unfortunately missed the Seismic Assault, and then North was able to just full combo and still through the Epoch just damage him out and just get the solo kill there as well, being able to give them that Primordial Fang. And it looks like they're going to turn this pressure and push it on and put the pressure on the Red Dojo here.
Yeah, Red Dojo needs to be careful here, as it does not matter how tanky they have built and what stage they are in the game. With that Primordial Fang and the Orb Prime buff on him, Team Royalty is going to tear through them like a paper if they get into any sort of team fight with them. Need to get turtley if you are Red Dojo here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have to give up all these tier 2s. I don't see a way around it. Just turtle for the inhibs. Put Belica to be able to clear lanes and just keep rotating to clear these lanes that will keep pushing up.
It does seem to be the only choice, as Akram needs to be careful here, as Dare to Care is coming from behind, gonna have to back out, does have that double jump and a couple of teammates here to help keep him safe now, but it is not looking great for Red Dojo, as like you said, that first tier 1 is gonna fall over here into the mid lane, and they are gonna walk in towards the inhibitors, pressuring both lanes at one time. All 5 members actually now gonna go over to the left lane as the minions crash in mid. That inhib is going to fall. That is the first one down for the day for Team Royalty, as they are going to look to get the second one as well, potentially start a big team fight. Wango's going to get a big home run here, but that may not be what they are looking to do, as this is going to be in the favor of Royalty during this fight with these buffs coming up. Blue Jay is going to come out with the ult, but it's not going to be enough, as the damage is just too much out of Team Royalty. That's going to be the second inhib. They're pushing in towards the base. The Orb Prime buff has fallen off. Still have the Primal Fang onto it. The core health is starting to fall, and it looks like that is going to be, oh, not quite, as the core is the best ally on the team of Red Dojo right now. Ooh, but they are going to come in with a second wave. Still 10 seconds before Yatan is going to be up, and it's not going to be enough. That is going to be game 1 for Team Royalty.
Oof, man, that was a close one up until roughly around mid game, man. I thought Red Dojo was going to be able to take this game. They had so much pressure. They had the lead. They were doing so well. I think Team Royalty just came out of nowhere and just like, hey guys, we got to do something about this, and just kind of put it into full gear. They got the picks they needed. They started, you see them started to rotate actually as like a 4 and a 5-man more throughout the game. And then Red Dojo did not really accommodate for that, and they didn't kind of adapt to the situation, and it kind of just hurt them in the end, I think.
Right, I would definitely like to see some better ward placement out of Red Dojo in that next game. You can't have them getting both mini primes and an Orb Prime completely uncontested. Atomic gave them a little bit of fuss with the very first mini prime they got, but after that they got all of those with absolutely no contention from Red Dojo. Gonna need to see them turn it around. Really good performance out of Royalty in that game, though. We are gonna take a quick short break so that we can run some ads so they don't happen during the game, and we'll be back with game 2 soon.
See you guys soon.